Hey, what's up everybody? Today I want to talk about the number one reason why people recommend their tax preparer to others and why you should completely and totally ignore that recommendation. Now, I don't have hard data that shows that this is actually the number one reason why people recommend their tax preparer, but I know from working in this profession that it is very near the top, if not at the top of the list of why people recommend their tax preparer to others. And it is a horrible reason to recommend a tax preparer. Okay, that might be going a little too far, but you need to at least dig in a little bit more to find out more information before you rely on this on its own. So what's that advice, or what's that reason for recommending a tax preparer? It comes in many forms, but I hear it over and over and over again, and it goes something like this. You've got to use my tax preparer because they got me a lot more money back than I've ever gotten before. So like I said, many variations. Hey, I switched tax preparers, they got me way more money back than I did last year. They got me a better refund than I've ever gotten before. Or worse yet, you get the one where the person says, I don't know what my guy does, but he gets me a lot of money back, and so I'm very thankful for that. He's great. You've got to use him. Okay? Now, that tax preparer might be doing everything all right. They might be a good, ethical tax preparer. But my point is that that recommendation alone isn't enough for you to know that you should go to that tax preparer. All right, now I have another video that says why you should completely ignore your refund. I'll try to post a link to that here. So I won't go in too much detail, but we do need to briefly cover that topic as well. There's really just four components. We have your income. All your income gets added up to total income. Then you have deductions where you can reduce that income in order to get to your taxable income. So income minus deductions equals taxable income. Then we calculate the amount of tax that you are responsible for. That's the amount of income tax that you owe, that you're responsible for paying. Then we have tax credits and withholding and tax payments that you've made. So credits are kind of like deductions. They're things that you might qualify for that would reduce your tax responsibility. And then withholding is just money that you've already paid in, or estimated tax payments is money you've already paid in. So that one we can pretty much ignore because it's you paying the taxes. So whether your withholding is higher or your estimated tax payments are higher, that will increase your refund, but it's just getting your own money back. So that one we can completely ignore. And quite frankly, it's one of, if not the biggest determining factor in whether or not you're going to get a refund at tax time or whether you owe additional taxes, is your estimated tax payments or withholding. It's your own money. That's the number one determining factor of whether or not you're getting a refund or not. So that's why I say let's ignore the refund. Let's pay attention to the actual tax responsibility. Let's get that number as low as possible. So what will happen? Okay, tax preparers know that you're focused on your refund. And so you get tax preparers out there who are just trying to make a lot of money for themselves by getting clients, and they know that you're looking for refunds, and so they make things up to get you a large refund. That's why this recommendation of, I got a great refund, is a horrible reason to recommend a tax preparer. It might be a great tax preparer who's getting you a good refund, but that alone is a horrible reason. I've personally seen, I've had people come in, they're switching tax preparers because their one previous tax preparer put in American Opportunity Tax Credit. So it's, qualified higher education expenses where you're paying tuition to college and you get a tax credit for that. But the preparer just put it in there even though they're not in college. They didn't spend a dime on tuition, but the preparer put it in there to qualify them for a $2,500 tax credit that then generated a refund for them, but they don't qualify for it. The other one is itemized deductions. I've seen returns where the preparer just put in ridiculous amounts of itemized deductions, $30,000 for charitable contributions that the taxpayer says, I didn't give those charitable contributions, and I didn't know that the preparer put those on the return, but they did in order to minimize your tax responsibility fraudulently and get you a large refund. So you've got to stop paying attention to the refund and look through the return. It's a huge red flag in my mind if the preparer will not sit down and go through the return with you and answer any questions you have about the return. Now, there are plenty of legitimate, ethical tax preparers out there who are just trying to minimize their amount of face time with you so that they can maximize their own profit, because it takes time to sit down and do this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would say that you probably don't really want to use them either, but there's nothing ethically wrong with that, and your return is probably still accurate if they're doing it right. But it's a red flag if they won't go through it with you, because why won't they go through it with you? It could be that they've put something on there that isn't right. Once you sign that return, even though you have a paid preparer, you are taking 100% responsibility for what is in that return when you sign it as the taxpayer. This is why I highly recommend and I offer to go through every return with every client that I have, because I want you to understand what's in there. You don't necessarily need to be able to do the return, but you need to understand, here's the numbers that you gave me, this is where I put them, this is how they affect whether or not you owe taxes at the end of the day or whether you get a refund. This is what your tax liability is, your responsibility is for amount of taxes owed. And I want you to have a good understanding and feel comfortable with what's in the return. My name is Brad. I'm with Wooten CPA, and my goal is to bring peace to your tax and finance responsibilities. One of the ways I do that is I sit down with my clients, I go through the return with them, answer any questions they have so that they completely understand what's in the return. The other way is I create these YouTube videos to help explain topics to you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and also the bell so you get notified when new videos come out. I appreciate you watching the videos.